Starting and running a business is hard, but you don't have to do it alone. Whether you're an established business owner or thinking about starting a side hustle to earn extra income, I am here to teach you how to show up as your unfiltered self, level up your business, and thrive as a mompreneur. Let's embrace the chaos and start enjoying the journey together. I'm Amy Traw, and you're listening to the Motivated Mompreneur Podcast. Welcome back into another episode of the Motivated Mompreneur Podcast. I am so excited to be here with you today because this is a solo episode. I haven't done a ton of these in recent months. It's been a very strategic move, and I'll dive into that a little bit more in today's episode. But today, I want to peel back the curtain and show you the ups and downs of entrepreneurship because I think it is so easy for us to get so wrapped up in what everybody else is doing. Growing a business is hard. It is so hard. But you know what? I wouldn't trade it for anything. The freedom, the flexibility, it's worth it. It's worth all those ups and downs. But please, if you don't take anything else away from this episode, I want you to know that you're not alone. Entrepreneurship can feel so lonely. You see everybody posting all of their wins, their 10K months, their $20,000 launches. And if you're not hitting that, it's easy to get caught up and think, what am I doing wrong? Well, I am here to tell you, you are doing nothing wrong. You are doing exactly what you should be doing. So if you take nothing else away from today's episode, please know that in a lonely world, you are never, ever alone. So I want to dive in and kind of go back to square one because I have built this business. Now that I'm 3 years into business, 1 year into podcasting, it's been intentional every step of the way. And I've made some mistakes. And I really hope that my vulnerability and sharing my mistakes will inspire you and will help you navigate your journey and make your burden a little bit easier. So, if you want the full story of my whole journey through healthcare and how I pivoted into entrepreneurship, be sure to go back and listen to my very cringeworthy first episode published 1 year ago. It is so crazy looking back, listening back. I'm like, I had no clue what I was doing, but looking back, I'm proud of myself. I did the darn thing. I said I was going to do something and I did it. And I'll tell you what, it's just messy action. It is just taking that next step after the next step after the next step. It's not pretty. It's not doing the sexy things that build a business. It's about building that solid foundation. And in year one, that was what I did. I was truly building that solid business foundation. I come from a background in healthcare, as you probably know, and I don't have a business background. So I knew from day one, I needed somebody on my side to help me establish a strong business foundation because you cannot build a skyscraper on quicksand. And I don't care who tells you that you need all the bright, shiny things. No, I want you from the start to figure out what is the one thing you want to be the go-to for. Pick one thing because it is so easy to get caught up in all of the shiny objects. I didn't have a podcast even until I was 2 years into building my business. I did not have all of the things, all of the shiny objects off the riff. So please, if you are comparing yourself, if you're so overwhelmed because you're trying to be everywhere, doing everything, doing all the micro offers and the group programs and the one-on-ones, just stop. Stop doing that. It takes time. Focus on one thing. Grow that one thing. Be so good at that one thing. And then add another and another and another. So year one, it was all about building that foundation. So I hired a mentor. And he was a great guy. And I'll tell you, looking back, he probably hated me, absolutely hated me because, he made me do things like, okay, we are going to make a business plan. All right, what contracts do we need in place? Okay, now what financial pieces do we need to be looking at? What is your payment processor? He taught me so much about building a legitimate business, because here's the thing. If you treat your business like a business, you will get results. If you treat your business like a side hustle, you will get side hustle results. Now, I'm not saying that it is not possible, because here's the thing. Year one, I was still working part-time as I was building my business. So I am here to tell you that it is absolutely 100% possible, but it's really building that strong, stable foundation that will set you up for success. So as I'm growing this business, it's getting busier and busier. I grew it to the point where by taking action, by getting out there, getting seen, networking is, it's so powerful. Literally, I got in front of whoever would listen to me. I sought out every local, because I was running a local service. So I sought out every local opportunity that I could. I networked with anyone that would listen to me. I got out there. One of the most powerful things that I did was I just got comfortable being uncomfortable. I am not an extroverted person. So for me, that was hard. That was really hard. I cannot tell you how many times that I was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to do it. But I did it. And part of that was kind of nice was that because it was 2020, we had a pandemic happening, there were a lot of virtual opportunities. So that kind of helped break the ice and get me out of my comfort zone. But I'm not going to lie and tell you that before I hit it on mute to talk about what I was doing, who I was, introduce myself, my armpits would get all sweaty, my palms would be sweaty. Oh my gosh, it was absolutely awful. So nerve-wracking. But it got me comfortable. It really showed me okay, I can do this. It built up my confidence because, as you've heard me say a million times, confidence is built through doing. You don't just show up one day and have $1 million business. And I think we forget that that's not how it works. But I really spent year one collaborating. Again, being generous, just giving without expecting anything in return. Speaking engagements were huge, and just really leveraging that word of mouth. I think a lot of times as business owners, we think that our marketing strategy just needs to be social media. Leverage your current audience. Get a referral program in there. Ask them to be your advocates. Use the people you already have. So year one, things are, going better than I thought. It's like, okay, this is kind of crazy. I've got the LLC. I'm using the contracts. I got the bank stuff, the CPA in my corner. I have all of the things. And now that I'm networking, now that I'm getting out there, I'm generating clients, I'm getting consistent referrals. Now I'm building, now I'm growing. But the one common theme I kept hearing over and over and over was that you have to compartmentalize. You have to choose. You can't grow this business bigger unless you compartmentalize your home life and your work life. And every time I heard that, it just made me cringe. Because here's the thing. As moms, we have such strong skills within us already. We have the skills that make us incredible leaders. We are masters, absolute masters of strategic management, of negotiation, of all of these high-level skills of managers, CEOs, high-level entrepreneurs. We possess that already. And so every time I would hear that, it just made me cringe because I'm like, no, being a mom makes me a better business owner, and I'm a better business owner because I'm a mom. We need to stop selling ourselves short. Running a business when you're a mom, it can be done. I am 100% proof of that. But it has to look a little different. And even one mom to the next, it's going to look different depending on what season of life you are in. So I decided, you know what? If I'm feeling this way, I bet there's others feeling this way too. And yes, there were different groups in my community, but nothing really spoke to moms that were running businesses. What happens when you have a kid that gets sick? What happens when you have toddlers running at home and you have no energy to grow this business, to show up, to do the work, to put in the reps? So on a whim, I started a Facebook community. So that's where back in the fall of I believe that was 2021, that we started the Moms on a Mission as a Facebook group. From there, it has grown and grown and grown. And it's almost surreal to me. But what I found is in growing this first business, in growing my organizing business, something just felt off. And I loved helping women regain control of their environments, regain that control of their space. But the thing was, I was traveling all over the place. And what I came to realize that in starting and running the Moms on a Mission community, in running my very first business, I had friends coming to me and asking me, okay, wait a minute, how are you doing this? Like, you're actually doing pretty well. How are you making this happen? I was like, well, I just showed up. I put in the work. I knew where my blind spots were, and I learned. I learned a lot. And that was another cool part about the pandemic. There were so many. I took courses from Harvard Business School, like for free. Absolutely insane. So the information's out there. The problem is we don't typically implement what we're learning. We get so wrapped up in shiny objects and comparing ourselves, our race, to the next woman's, that we're not really focusing on what makes us unique, what we bring to the table. Because let me tell you, you have something so valuable inside of you. And if you have the solution to a problem that someone else has, it's your responsibility to share it with the world. So by playing small, by holding back, you're robbing others of these opportunities. So I really leaned into this, and I continued to grow and foster that community. And I had no intent on ever, turning it into anything other than a Facebook community. But it continued to grow, and it continued to grow. So I just kept building community, just kept showing up. I started a directory of mom-owned businesses in our area and started distributing cards at every market I could, every local business I could find that would let me set them out, because it's hard being a small business getting seen. And so I wanted to decrease some of those barriers to entry without ever expecting anything in return. That whole second year was all about serving my community. How can I help you thrive? And so as this continued to grow and grow, we opened up our membership community to dive in even deeper with the master classes and resources and trainings and all of the things. But it's hard work. There's not memberships, as shiny as they look, they're not super profitable, especially in the beginning. It is a ton of work on the back end, a ton of work. And there's a lot of logistics that go involved into the back end of making sure everybody knows what's happening, when it's happening, and newsletters and logistics and webinars and getting guest presenters and all of the things. It's a ton of work. And there were a lot of valuable lessons learned, especially in the beginning of that membership. I come from a place where I assume the best of people, and that has gotten me burned a lot. And it has really, I don't even know what happens, but it's led to a lot of betrayals, and I had to set some boundaries then, which absolutely breaks my heart because I assume the best of people. I want nothing more in this world than to see the next woman succeed. And if I can just be a little part of her journey to empower her with the tools she needs to thrive, then oh my gosh, my heart is just filled with joy. That is truly my mission in this world, is to empower you to succeed. Because at the end of the day, this is not about me. This is about the we. This is about all of us. So May of 22, really started leaning into running the membership community, coaching women one-on-one. And then here we are 1 year later, last July, I think it was very end of June. I don't know. Spotify told me that it was June 22nd that I hit publish. I think that was the trailer though. But here we are 1 year later, and I have a top 10% podcast. Like, what? Who am I? Like, when I first hit publish, I just thought, hey, it's cool. Let's do a podcast. Let's have this, and that'll help me meet some new people. Oh my gosh, having a podcast has been absolutely the most phenomenal, best decision I have ever made. And when I first started out, I believe I would do 1 to 2 episodes each week. And sometimes I would do a solo episode. Sometimes I would have a guest on. But then I really got intentional. I decided, okay, in December of 22, when I fully resigned from my job, I'm like, okay, I have some extra time now, because I didn't have, 40 hours a week of one-on-one clients, nor would I have the mental capacity to do that. But I went from working 20 hours a week in my business to working 40 hours a week in my business. So I strategized with my mentor at the time and went, okay, how I know in order to hit my revenue goal, I need to gain visibility. Okay, so I can do that through social. I can do it through collaborations. How else? Okay, podcasting. I can go on a podcast tour. Or what I can even do is be really intentional and push out a ton of content, because you know what it's doing? It's putting in the reps. And by putting in the reps, that's what gets you the results. So I got super intentional and just started batching and batching and batching. So I would have podcast days, and then I would have client days. And I just kept doing that over and over and over. And what this did is it got me comfortable, number one, interviewing people. I feel like my communication skills have drastically improved. Number two, I have had some of the most incredible guests on this podcast. And if you have been a guest on this podcast, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for sharing your episode out, for taking the time out of your schedule to share your knowledge, because you have just as much of an impact on me. And here's the thing too, at the end of the day, I want you to be equipped with the resources that you need. Each week, 5 episodes we're publishing, and in the fall that's going to scale back, but I want you, no matter where you're at in your business, to be able to find at least 1 episode a week that's like, you know what? I needed to hear that message. I needed that right now in my business, to provide you with the experts that can skyrocket you to success. And I'll tell you what, I'm learning along the way too. I feel like as individuals, we think we're done learning when we hit a certain point of our lives. But no, I never want to stop learning. I love hearing different perspectives that are unique from my own. I love when someone comes on that has a different viewpoint, because it opens up new opportunities, new possibilities. I love that. And I'll tell you, it's just been absolutely incredible meeting people literally across the world. But yes, it's been great. I love it. I can't recommend it enough. So here we are, 3 years in business. 2 businesses have been built, 2 successful businesses from the ground up. I am here to show you that it is possible, that you have to get out of your own way. I stood in my own way for far too long. And, looking back, it's so easy to see where we self-sabotaged along the way, where we sold ourselves short along the way, what we did wrong along the way. But I want you to start tracking your wins. Track your wins, because all so often we focus on the things that we didn't accomplish, the things that still need to be done. Track those wins because you're making more progress than you think you are. And I'll tell you what, no matter what stage of business you are at, no matter what, you are going to have days where you still get hit with imposter syndrome. I do. The other day it hit hard. I'm not going to lie. And it was like, okay, well, I thought I would be at this financial benchmark right now, and I'm only here. And that's okay. That's okay because I'm running my own race. And when I look back at my experience, our life experience qualifies us. We all bring something so unique and so valuable to the table. Why am I thinking that someone else's time frame should be the time frame that I'm following? That doesn't matter. This is my business. I can run my business how I want. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by doing all of the things, by shoulding your life away, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, stop. I want you to stop and really take the time to reflect inward. What does success look like to you? What do you want this business to look like? Because this is your business. This is your life. You call the shots. I want you to start living it on your own terms. And I am here. If you are struggling, please know you are not alone on this journey. We have something to help you navigate the process of entrepreneurship, navigate the journey, no matter what stage of business you're at. If you're just starting out, the membership is absolutely perfect for you. It is so reasonably priced. It is less than $1 a day. We have over 20 different masterclasses in there, resources, templates, guides, tools to help you succeed. We also offer hot seat coaching once a month so that you can bring me your questions and have me answer them. And if you're looking to really get that one-on-one strategy, accountability, that game-changing piece of the puzzle, reach out. I've got one-on-one services. I have helped close to 100 women now grow their businesses and get results. And if it's possible for them, if it's possible for me, it is possible for you too. This is so hard, but it doesn't have to be as hard as we're making it. So I want you to know that asking for help is the highest form of self-care that you can give yourself. I also invest so big in myself, in my personal growth, in my development. This hasn't been an easy journey. That's why if I'm preaching this to you, you darn well know I am investing in myself so that I can make sure I am able to provide the best results for you. So I want you to walk away and really focus on what is it that I want? What is it that this life I want to live looks like? And then ask yourself, what would it take? Would it take me to stop making excuses? Would it take me taking scary, messy action? Would it take asking for help? What would it take to get you the results that you desire? Because you are worthy. You are so worthy of the life you desire. It's a long game. And if you are still waiting until you have the time, I'm sorry to tell you, you will not find the time. You have to make the time. If this is something you want, you need to go after it because we need you. We need you and everything you bring to this world. And until next time, mamas, stop dreaming and start taking messy action. You've got this. Are you loving what you're hearing? Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode.